I hope you guys saw the tutorial on the sides. We did the sides already. So we know we don't want to cut anything more from the sides. So when we come up here and we get some of the long hair from the top, we know exactly, we have our guide to cut the sides, right? So that's gonna be our first guide, our first line. Second line is gonna be somewhere over there too. So now that means all we gotta do is worry about a small portion from the middle. Small portion from the middle, right? Cut that to the right length, and then all we have to do is connect this portion that we haven't cut yet, right? So this portion is gonna go uncut. This we're gonna cut from the front. This portion is not gonna get cut, and this portion is gonna get cut from the sides. And cutting the top is really that easy. So we're gonna get the middle, and I know that I want his hair to lay at his eyebrows. So I'm only gonna cut a little bit. I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna create a straight line, right? Point cut. Just like that. When I come over here, I'm gonna slant it a little bit. You can see all this hair that I need to cut. Let me see, look over here. Now I'm just gonna follow that same guideline all the way to the top. And we're not cutting that much because he was here about a month ago and hair grows about ½ inch in a month. So we're literally cutting about ½ inch. Now we're gonna do the same thing. And over here, I am gonna slant it a little bit. Not gonna go square. I'm gonna go round. Round means I'm following the shape of his head. And I'm just here to show you, look, I might not be holding my scissors right, or I might not be using the right comb. You can do with anything that you want, and that's what I want to show you guys, as long as you truly understand what you need to be doing. So now that we got that going on, we're gonna do the sides next. And we're gonna create, our line for the sides was here. Now we're gonna go a little bit higher. And we're gonna go there. And I know that I need my sides to blend into the sides right here. So what am I gonna do? You can do clipper over comb, or you can do sectioning, whatever it is that you want to do. You can do sectioning or clipper over comb. I personally like clipper over comb. So all I'm doing here is I need this to blend in smoother to that. So the only hairs I need to cut are these hairs right here. So I'm gonna go here, cut them a little bit, let it go, cut it a little bit more, let it go, a little bit more, and I'm gonna start tilting my my comb, and I'm gonna go little by little up until it blends. And here, I'm gonna go here and cut that so it can blend in smoother there. I'm creating that same angle I would create if I was doing my scissor work, like with actual scissors, but I'm cutting it in half the time. And if it looks a little too bulky, that means you gotta cut more of the top hair. So you see me going all the way up here now and cutting these hairs so it can blend in smoother, right? So now that we got that,
okay, the whole point of me showing that side by side with the Lexi Michaels video is to show you guys that essentially we're doing the same exact thing. It might not be the same exact haircut, but it looks pretty damn similar, right? So I just want to show that he's doing it with scissors and his way is good. If you like using scissors and you just like, honestly, it's just preference. In my personal opinion, the clipper is faster, but also I do think that the scissors do look more professional. If you're like a 1 hour barber, definitely go with the scissors. Why not? If you're like a 30-minute barber, I would suggest doing with the clipper. And essentially we're holding he's overextending the hair in a specific angle, and so am I, but the only difference is I'm not holding with my fingers, I'm actually holding with my comb. So if you go back and look at it, you'll see that we're kind of doing the same direction. Obviously he's going one way, I'm going the other way, but essentially we're both putting the hair in the same direction and cutting it the same way. and that's what's gonna make it flow properly. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, please feel free to leave a question and I will answer it. But I hope that it didn't confuse you, and we're gonna cut the middle now, and I'm gonna show you how to connect everything, and hopefully it all makes sense. But the whole preface of this video is that I want to show you guys that once you make 2 or 3 guides around the head, all you have to do is connect the rest of it and it'll all flow properly. I hope this is not confusing you guys. Please, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Thank you for watching.
We're gonna cut the top, and I'm just gonna switch combs. I'm gonna switch combs just for the sake of the video, to show you that you can use any comb you want. So now we cut that. We're probably not gonna cut this hair right here. Probably not gonna cut that. We're gonna get a little section from the middle. And I usually don't section, guys. I really don't. And I want to be truthful with you guys, because you don't need it. I give great haircuts and you don't need to section. You just gotta understand what's going on. So I'm gonna go. Like, you're not supposed to be holding your shears like the way I'm holding them with the comb, but that's what's comfortable with me. That's how I've done it for years, and I'm not gonna switch. So I know it might not be right, but I've never hurt anyone, and I'm very careful with my shears. I know that, okay? I know. You know, you guys don't gotta tell me. So now I see my guide here from the front. So now I'm just gonna cut, and you can do point cutting, or you could do straight cutting. It really doesn't really matter that much. So I'm just gonna go straight here. But the only thing that matters is that you go square. Right here, you wanna go square. You don't wanna go round. Round is like this, right? I go round to the front, and then square everywhere else. So square just means you're gonna put the hair up and go straight. That's what square means. And then we already cut the back, right? We already cut the back.
Horrible camera angle incoming. Do not worry, the other side has a way better angle. I'm just gonna do a voiceover so you guys have something to look at and guys don't get bored. But what the hell is going on with all these colors and shapes on the right side of the screen? Well, it's very simple. The blue dotted lines represent a square shape. So when I say this is a square shape, imagine there's an invisible square and you're trying to direct the hair towards that square, and that's how you're gonna cut it, right? And then the green is a round shape. As you can see, it follows the shape of his head. So whenever I say it's a round shape, it's just following the shape of his head. Literally, like, if I'm not gonna confuse you guys, it's that simple. It really is that simple. So in the crown area, when you're connecting the crown area to the top, which is the middle part of his head, you're using a round shape. You're not using a square shape. And then when you're in the middle, you're using a square shape, which means you're gonna go straight. And then when you're connecting the front, the fringe of the head in the front area to the middle, you're using a round shape. I hope it's not confusing. Just look at the picture and it's really that simple. Do not, I'm trying to keep it simple, guys. Please, it's that simple. Cut round in the front and back and cut square in the middle. Simple as that. We're gonna keep on going with the video, and I promise you guys it's gonna get even better.
We did one section where we cut the sides so this blends in properly. We did another section where we cut the middle, right, to blend into the front that we cut. We went square here, we went square here, and then we already cut the back so it blends in properly back here, right? These are some hairs from the other side, so don't, I hope you guys can see. So we connected that, and the only thing that we had left to connect was this hair, all of these hairs. And then all we had to do to connect that is connect the sides to the top. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So on this side, I'm gonna go here. When we cut the sides, we went like this. Now we're gonna grab a little bit more of that hair. We're gonna come up here. We know we already cut this. So all we're worried about is those hairs over there. We're gonna grab the hairs and we're gonna go like this, because those are the types of sections that we would get if we were using scissors, but we're not using scissors because we're faster. We're faster than scissors, and we get the same quality, same achievement, same everything. Now you can see everything's blending in properly. Proper. proper. All right, so now I'm gonna wet the hair a little bit more. Oh my God, my thing is on 1 HP. So now we're gonna come here. We already cut the middle, so we don't gotta recut the middle because that's our middle section. And now we're gonna come up here. We don't gotta cut the front anymore because we already cut that. So we cut the sides, we cut the middle, and if we did it properly, all you gotta do is connect the sides right here. You can see this little hair right here. Hopefully I can grab it. See that little hair right there? Right here. And the middle. And you can do whatever type of style of cutting you like doing. Point cutting. You just go straight and connect both of them, right? And that is it. We got one section here, one section here, that's 2 sections, one section in the middle, that's 3 sections, and all we did was connect 4 sections, 5 sections, 6 sections for the front that we did in the beginning. And then I guess you can count the section in the back as 8 sections. And when you do each section, everything just connects perfectly because you know exactly where to connect the back because you already cut the back. You know you don't need to cut it again. You already cut the middle. You know you don't need to cut that again. You already cut the sides. You know you don't need to cut that again. So the only 2 pieces that are missing are these pieces like over here, somewhere over here. And then all you got to do is connect them to the middle, to the sides, to the back, wherever it is. But as long as they connect, the hair's gonna flow smoothly. Scissor work is super easy. Let me show you guys the final product.
So this is just basic and it kind of works with almost every haircut, okay? So we connected the sides with the ridge area. The red represents the sides that we made when I did the comparison to Alexi Michael. Okay, that's the sides. We blended it in perfectly to the sides. We know we don't need to cut it anymore. Then we made a straight line in the middle of his head, which is represented by the green. And we cut that. So the only thing that we need to do is connect the green to the red, which is that blank space that you see with the blue lines. And that's all you have to do. After you do that, after you connect the green to the red on the left side and the right side, and then you cut the front where your client wants it, in this case it was the eyebrows, it's really that simple. That's it, and it works for almost every single haircut.
I don't want to go too deep with my gloves because it'll grasp onto the hair. But as you can see, we gave him the little curtains and they go right to his eyebrow, right? Look over here, everything blends in smoothly here. We made that line go like this, outwards, right? Which gives it that smooth blend. Looks to the side, clean taper. Looks to this side, clean taper, right? And then looks great. Like the haircut looks great. Everything blends in perfectly. Everything connects together. It's that simple.
This is my very first ever scissor tutorial, so if you guys enjoyed it, and this is exclusive to school only people in the school community will be able to see all of my scissor videos. I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying. If there's something that's confusing, please tell me so I can be better even on the next one and make it even more simple so you can understand. If the pictures confuse you, let me know. If my explanation confused you, please let me know. Please, please, please. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support.